But who makes it moral or immoral?
You do, and I do, and she does, and she does.
God does.
How do you know that God is the good one and the devil's the bad one?
because God is more powerful, and he was cast
out.
out.
Might makes right.
So might makes right.
What's that?
So might makes right.
I still didn't.
In other words, that it's called might makes right, and what it means is because I have the brute force to be able to achieve something that it therefore is correct. That's what you.
No, I don't think God does it by brute force.
You just
said
said
he was more powerful.
You said he was the good one because he was more powerful.
No, he's the good one because he's the holy one.
How do you know? How do you know that he's not the evil one and the devil is the good one?
I guess
and that Yahweh has
because I go by the Dead Sea Scrolls.
So you believe an ancient text that tells you which one's good and which one's bad. So your real oh gosh, please. So your real ultimate moral authority is not Jesus Christ or any personal revelation or anything else. It's an old set of books.
No, it's the real one.
The real what?
Well,
you have to use.
It's the combination because it's a historical document, and that's how modern man knows about Jesus Christ.
Okay, first of all, modern man knows nothing about Jesus Christ from the Dead Sea frickin' Scrolls because they were written before he was born. The Dead Sea Scrolls are Old Testament documents.
It's the Torah.
Yes, which says nothing at all about Jesus.
And the prophecies leading up to Jesus Christ.
The Jews would disagree with you.
The Jews disagree with you.
Yeah.
And by the way,
the people who wrote it don't agree.
The Dead Sea Scrolls with regard to morality are some of the most immoral things you're going to find in the Bible. It endorses slavery, tells you who you can enslave, how long you can enslave them, how much you pay for them, and how to mark them as your slaves. This is the ultimate authority of morality for you? You are not bigger than this? You are not able to exercise some compassion and humanity and say, yes, as a matter of fact, slavery is wrong. And you know what? It was wrong back then, but those people just didn't quite get it. And if God had sanctioned slavery, it was still wrong.
What's the ultimate sacrifice for mankind that mankind knows? It's God giving his own son.
That's not a sacrifice, John.
Was that immoral of God to kill his own son?
Okay, first of all, this idea that it was his own son is absurd. It was supposedly, according to Christian doctrine, himself. He was sacrificing himself in human form to himself. Oh, no, you got to hold. I'll let you talk again. How dare you say that this was a sacrifice? At least when Elvis died for my sins, he stayed dead. If you came to me tomorrow and said, hey, if you let us beat you and whip you and torture you and hang you up and kill you, I guarantee you we will end poverty in the world tomorrow. I'll do it. I will. If there's an absolute guarantee that that would be the outcome, I'll do it. I'll go down as forever. I'll be famous forever for it. I mean, if you can come up with no better justification than empathy and compassion, fame, living forever as the guy who ended poverty. However, if you came to me and said, by the way, not only will we beat you and torture you and hang you up and kill you, but we'll raise you from the dead in 3 days and you get to be God, that's not a sacrifice. What exactly did God sacrifice?
He sacrificed his physical body as he came down.
If he is the creator of everything, what is a physical body? What possible sacrifice could that be for him? Couldn't he just make another one?
He could have picked anything.
How can that be a sacrifice? You're giving something up.
To me, though, that whole thing is just another testament to the immorality of this character Yahweh.
Yeah, that he needs a blood sacrifice.
Because the reality is, there was no requirement. First of all, there was no requirement for redemption. All right, that was an arbitrary thing. If God is all powerful, then He can say, "I'll accept or not accept."
There was a requirement by Jewish law.
Well,
so God is subject to Jewish law?
No, God created the law of parenthood, supposedly. The point is, if He's dictating this, then He's making the game. He's making these rules. So He's the one that says, hey, let's kill somebody. Let's torture them, and let's kill them, and let's slaughter a human being as recompense for all these guilty people so that they can then, be rewarded for their lives of guilt. And
the reason for that is because we partook in God. in the fruit of the tree.
No, but there's no reason for it. There is no reason for it.
Are you saying that it is impossible?
No,
are you saying that it is impossible for God to just forgive without a blood sacrifice? God can't do that?
He does.
Can he do that?
He made, instead of making each one of us sacrifice, he made one for all.
My point is, there have to be any.
Can you answer any question straight, John? I tried to make them really easy. Are you saying, can God, if he wants to, just say, no blood sacrifice necessary, I forgive you for that?
If he wants to, but
then why doesn't he want to?
Listen, his character. It is his character of holiness.
I told you last week, his character is an ass, and that's the point.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that it's his character to demand a blood torture death, because that's what he did all through the Old Testament.
And it sounds good to him. It says
the point is, it's not a character of holiness. That's a character of massive, sadistic cruelty. And if you have the right to make the rules of the game and you say, under my rules, we're going to slaughter animals for centuries and centuries and centuries, and then when it gets down to it, I'm just going to beat the hell out of a human being and then kill them in a horrific way, and that's my game. And you're saying this is the most moral God, this is the most moral being. It's like there couldn't be a more immoral setup for a game. And the biggest joke of all is that he created it all. So the condemnation is heaped upon a thing that he produced. And he made all the parameters so that whatever happens, he already knew it was going to happen. He even set the foundations of the universe. He saw this whole thing out. He knew exactly what you were going to do from the time you were born to the time you were going to die. Set this whole thing up, and then condemns you for doing exactly what he knew you were going to do, and then slaughters somebody to make up for that. It's the most messed up thing ever. And to call that moral and good, and to look at that and say, yeah, I can see the morality behind it. No, that's insanity. I don't even know what to call that. The fact that this religion could get people to call that love is a disgrace to human minds. I mean, I don't even know
It's exactly, you have demonstrated again this week exactly the point that I made last week. And that is that in bending over backwards to accept an immoral doctrine as moral, you have sacrificed your humanity, you have sacrificed your compassion, you have bought into absurdities and lies. You basically said that whatever God says goes. And when asked the fairly simple questions, you have to hem and haw over it, because somewhere down deep, you know that it's not morally right.
That slavery is not right. That mass infanticide is not right. That telling a raped woman she has to marry her rapist because that's his penalty for raping her, that is not right. That is not moral. And the fact that there are so many people that are willing to call that moral shows me what this religion can do to a person's brain.
It has twisted you up to the point where, and as Voltaire said, if you can get people to accept absurdities, you can get them to commit atrocities. And that's exactly what we're saying. John, I think you're more moral than your God, than your religion.
Yeah, whatever morality you have under this doctrine is in spite of it, not because of it.
Yeah, and what I had asked you last week, about would you build a torture cell? And today you call in to say that hell was designed for the devil and
I take back the smack.
Yes. Humans were never meant to go there. Well, so then your view of God doesn't include an omniscience of the future. But in any case, isn't he supposed to be all-powerful? Why didn't he just eliminate all of those angels that opposed him? Why did he have to create a place to torture them forever?
So he wasn't an omniscient God under John's model, is that what you're saying?
Evidently, but it doesn't matter whether he saw it coming or not.
Well, if he didn't,
after it happened, he could have just, okay, you guys no longer exist. But he didn't. He's a sadistic, twisted, demented guy. He is an exact representation of the fears of that Bronze and Iron Age roving band of thugs who traveled around the Middle East trying to steal as much land as they could and doing it in the name of God. It's insane. And yet you're saying that he's the ultimate, it's the Dead Sea Scrolls, this is the ultimate source of... No, John, you are.